coffee time, and it's to my local venue to see if I can catch up with the roe deer, see how they're progressing with the velvet, see if there's any larger bucks. I've been coming a couple of mornings and a couple of evenings over the last week or so. Marginal success. A couple of times I've caught them. So come out today just see if I can get one more go before I put a video together. Next week we're on holiday. Me and myself, Denise, we're off to Yorkshire for one of my 60th birthday presents from the kids. So we're going to stay up there for 2 or 3 days, and hopefully try and get to, if the weather permits, Bempton Cliffs. Denise is keen to see some puffins, guillemots, and all the seabirds there. So yeah, that's a bit of excitement. See if that works out okay. So yeah. It's just nice to have a little bit of a rest and recoup the batteries. So yeah, so even if they don't come out this evening, it's a lovely evening. Let's see what comes. Well, the first evening I came out, saw a few bucks, not the older ones, and it looks as if the 2 fawns will shortly become yearlings were out as well, the male and the female. Now this is the oldest buck I've seen to date. Looks to me probably 3 or 4 years old. Still in the velvet, so possibly not as mature as some of the other bucks I've seen here previously. I must admit this made me smile. Looks as if they're practicing with their newly acquired antlers. Still in the velvet, practicing in play for what potentially could occur later in the year or later in their lives. It all appeared very gentle, skipping around and then coming close together, locking their antlers. That's just brilliant. It's just lovely to watch. It's quite mesmerising. They played for 15-20 minutes, maybe more. I love the way in which it came up and tried to engage in play with the slightly older buck, who seemed as if, well, it's not for me. It's a bit like a petulant teenager. You know, I'm too old to play. of the mornings I came out was really quite misty, and I've seen this muntjac come up actually this same field before and come really quite close. I think I'll try and put a link to that video up in the top here. He worked his way up, got about halfway up the field toward me, and then decided to turn off and travel across to my right. So the last evening I came down, my patience was paid off with the visit in this quite golden light. I was concentrating on these two quite closely, and then I noticed right in the background, just poking his head up over the horizon, was a pair of antlers, and they weren't in the velvet, again just above the head here. And I thought, this has got to be the most mature buck I've seen this year. So over, I suppose, the next 3/4 of an hour or so, the sun was dropping, and then he finally came over the horizon. Obviously an older buck. The velvet is gone, and as he was approaching closer, I suddenly realised, yes, I've seen this guy before. Saw him lose the velvet last year. So it's a great comparison here. You've got the younger buck on the left hand side still in his velvet, and then the more mature buck with the uneven antlers. So that's a distinguishing feature. As he gets closer, you can get a real good look at the antlers. The right hand one, as we look at it, is much more nailed, much more intact. So he must have damaged the left hand one at some point. And although it does look as if it's slightly more developed than last year, it's still not quite an even pair of antlers. As he's walking towards me, I'm looking behind thinking, is there a route through to the other field? Because by this time he's actually got really quite close, and I'm starting to think, oh, at some point he's going to spot me. But he just keeps coming. I'm sat right back into the hedgerow, and there's a bush to my right, so I can't pan and follow him completely to the right, but he just keeps coming right up. It was just so lovely to see him so close. I kept very still and didn't disturb him. He managed to walk right off, and once he'd left at a safe distance, I decided to move off and work my way home. And whilst walking back to the car, I noticed a fallow deer, and a pair of fallow deer bucks. Appeared as if they still, one of them still had his antlers. So that's going to be something possibly I might do. Have a look into the woods and see if I can find those. But yeah, to see a fallow deer here is really quite rare, so that was a big plus. Didn't manage to get any footage because it was so dark. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a big thumbs up, like and subscribe. And as always, hope you join me in the next one.